Hey guys, this is Tuhin here and welcome to my online tutorial for watercolor. Today I am painting another seascape to demonstrate the use of atmospheric watercolor and how to choose color to show the depth in a picture. So for today's painting I have taken a set of flat and round tip brushes of different sizes, and for the colors I'm using artist's watercolors, and I'm gonna paint on 150 GSM watercolor paper today. So here I have a basic sketch ready of a seascape that I'm going to paint. Now the boat that we see here is going to be the focal point of our painting. And on the left I have some rocks which I'm going to paint in a darker shade. So I'm just going to make the lines a bit more prompt here. So now I'm assuming that my light source is actually from left to right. So I'll be seeing the shadowy part of the rock here, and I've taken the horizon line on the bottom part of the page, and this is gonna serve as my horizon line. So I'm just going to quickly make the sketch a little bit more prominent here, and I'll just draw over the lines to make it a bit darker. So here my sketch is ready, and I'm going to keep in mind the light source and the light direction. So I'm going to paint the shadows accordingly. So let's start with the first wash. So in the first wash I'm going to start off with a flat brush and with plain water. So I'll start off with the lighter colors, and I'm taking a very diluted mix of Campbell's hue and spreading it across the sheet here. And as I move ahead, I'll keep adding darker tones to it. As you notice, I avoid brushing the sheet too much to lose the texture of it. I wet the sheet first with plain water, and then I start adding colors on top of it. So I'm adding touches of vermilion red to the hue here, and while going towards the topmost layer I am using a mix of cobalt blue. As you see, I'm letting the colors mix here, and I'm drying off some of the colors with a dry brush. Now while the sky is wet, I'm adding the darker tones for the clouds here. And as you see, they're mixing well together because the paper being wet, and I'm taking off some of the colors with a dry brush again. Now the hills that we see on the right side are the farthest away in the picture, so I'm going to use a very light color of the same yellow texture and give it a very faded look against the sky. And I'm giving some darker tones to add some depth to it. But as you notice, I'm really not going into the dark colors into this and keeping it very subtle and faded. And I want to show some light filtering through the rocks on my left. And then I'm going to continue adding the colors for water. So I want to show the effect of a boat breaking the water surface. So firstly I'll add the cobalt blue and Prussian blue to a wet sheet so that they mix properly. And the places where I want to show the boat breaking the water, I won't wet that area of the sheet but directly add the darker colors to it, and I'll keep in mind to leave a kind of edge boundary all over. So nearing the horizon, I'm going to add a touch of yellow for the reflection of the sky. These kind of small details make your painting look even much more realistic. So now I'm going to add the darker shades to the water ripples. I'll keep in mind that I have to leave some whites of the paper. Now, as our light surface is somewhere behind the rocks, we'll be seeing the shadowy part of the rock as well. So as I near the edge of the rock on the left, I'll keep adding darker tones to the water as well. And I'll start off with a very dark tone for the rock on the left. And as you will notice that I always tend to mix 2 to 3 different tones of colors together, because it's kind of monochromatic to work with one single tone. So as you see in this rock, I've taken different hues of color, but I've taken them in a dark tone, and they kind of work well together because it gives a really nice dimension to the whole picture. And to show the light filtering through the rocks, I'm going to use burnt sienna because it's kind of a bright color than the others, and simultaneously I'll be making the edges proper because I don't want to come back and retouch this element here. Add all the shadows and tones necessary while the paper is wet. So we'll leave it here as the base wash is ready, and we'll let it dry for a bit before going further. So now our base wash is dry, and you can see that we have gotten these nice mixes of colors. Now this time I'm going to use round tip brushes with different sizes to put on the colors for prominency. So I'm gonna start with adding a darker shade of yellow against the sky on the sail, and simultaneously I'm gonna keep adding the shadows over the elements. So as you can see, all the colors that I'm using on the sails are complementary to the sky so that it doesn't look too odd. So you kind of have to always figure out the hue that the painting is going towards, and always kind of follow that same tone. So I'm adding all the details keeping in mind the light source direction. So I'm drawing the shadows on the water behind the boat. And I'm gonna add a very subtle boundary to the hills in the background. So you see, as the hills on the right are the farthest away, I'm using kind of the lightest colors possible. So these kind of colors will give you an atmospheric sense of where your perspective is going. So you'll be able to sense the things farther away and the things that are near you in a painting. So I'm adding a darker shadow on the water below the hills. But I also don't want to keep any hard edges between them, so I'm rinsing it off with plain water. Adding the darkest shades towards the base. So I'm gonna start adding the darker shades on the waves now, and I'll show a pattern with the help of the jagged edge of the flat brush. So as you see, I'm leaving spaces between the shadows I'm adding to show the wavy pattern. So the more you practice drawing waves and water, you'll get the hang of it better. And I'm gonna leave that space in between the rocks for the reflection of light. And then I'll take a thinner brush and start adding the very finer details. I would always advise you to use a very dry brush while adding these very thin strokes, because a brush loaded with water more could give you a thicker line than you are expecting. So that is where I'm gonna leave the painting, and as you can see, I've gotten these nice fadey effects of light filtering through all the rock and the sky and on the clouds. So I hope you had fun watching this video and you learned a few more tricks to finish a watercolor painting quickly and nicely. So hope you have fun doing watercolors, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for more of my classes.